Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I hope you're doing well. This is Kenya Revolutionary for another session, another day in Kenyan politics, or should I say Kenyan politics. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday, Furahi Day. I'm a little bit late today, so I probably won't stay as long as I usually do, which is an hour. I might go 30 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on how things go. As you know, this is Friday. We are going to freestyle our way through life, okay? But karibu sana, karibu sana. Wherever you're joining from, whether you're from Europe, Antarctica, Australia, New Zealand, Africa, North America, South America, whichever way, whichever continent, whichever country, come out in Kenya and you're interested in Kenyan politics, here's the place to be. We shall break down things. As you can see, the Mada Leo, Ruto and Raila officially agree on NADCO report. They accepted it. I saw Wandai and Kimani Chungwa shaking hands with Raila Odinga, and they were cheesing it up for the cameras. Same thing happened when they went and met the president, William Ruto. They were shaking hands. They presented them with the report. You know, walikuwa salimiana hapo. They were so happy. So it seems like both parties are happy with this NADCO report, and they want to pass it through the parliament. Again, I have my reservations about this whole thing. You know what? And it's legal. Legal opposition to this whole idea of NADCO report. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Again, number two, the second interesting stuff. Some interesting appointments that the president made, including Mr. Chiloba, this former IT guy, IBC guy. The guy was involved in IBC on some capacity. I forgot what exactly, but he was one of those people who are being blamed by the Azimio side for, you know, koroga vitu on the favor of the president. Now he has gotten some appointment to be the ambassador basically in Los Angeles, okay, Kenya. Not only that, another interesting appointment was, I forgot her name, something Akia, basically Raila's sister, okay, who got appointed to also will be an ambassador to the US. She will also be joining Mr. Chiloba in Los Angeles, and people are talking on both sides of the aisle. So this should be interesting. I wonder how the staunch Azimio supporters feel about this. Do you feel left out? Are you happy about these appointments? Does it show that it's not looking good? It's not looking good. Either way, it does not look good, especially if you're a staunch Azimio supporter who was going out there, you know, fighting for Raila Odinga, and you see such appointments and this NADCO report and that's and then the third, you're like, what's going on over here? Where is the people? What, how are we benefiting from this? We'll get to all of that, including a reaction from Oledekima Ledama, who posted a few hours ago saying, Po, siasa kweli usiweke kwa roho. And the comments were funny. I'll show you all those tweets and all that nice and all that good stuff. Secondly, we shall also touch on the shenanigans by none other than Bishop Wangari. We'll just talk about it briefly later on in the show because we've exhausted that. The speech, the warning that she gave Mr. President Ruto, you know, telling Ruto, I will curse you, whatever the case is, utaona chamte makuni, all those silly threats. She sounded like a kid. And with a sling on her left arm, was it left or right? Right arm, actually. The right arm that's supposedly supposed to be hurt, but she was moving it freely. She even forgot she was holding the mic with it. I'll show you all that. This lady is a cartoon of another level. This lady should go to Hollywood. She needs to go to Hollywood for this. But let's get started, okay? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me contextualize what I'm saying. And I'll play the video of Kalonzo and the gang meeting Raila Odinga and all that good stuff, okay? Like the video if you haven't liked the video. If you're just joining, you're looking at this on the X, please, and you want to join me on YouTube, go to YouTube, like the video, and share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. We'll be brief. We always go 1 hour, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, depending on how it goes, okay? But it's Friday. I'm going to freestyle my way through this. And like I said, I might not go the whole hour. I'll try. But let's see. Let's just see how it goes. Again, subscribe, share, like, comment. That's the first order of business is liking the video, okay? All right, let me play you the first video. I'll play this video from the Azimio official YouTube channel so you can see the whole handshake and the cheesing it up and all the speeches, the nonsensical speeches, and then I'll give my view on what happened. It's a kind of a lengthy video, but while this video is playing, listen to what they're saying. Not only that, take a moment and actually like and call your friends. Tell your friends, hey, listen, Kenya Revolution is up there. Let me go join in. I want to talk siasa. I'll put the link if you want to join in. Just tell me on the chat. I'll put the link so you can get in and we can talk. Okay? All right. Let me start by this video so we can hear what these guys were talking about. All right? All right. Let's go. Mr. Kalonzo, where you at? Let me find you. Mr. Kalonzo and Ichungwa. There you go. All right. Here's the video. Ready? Go.
In this event is our brother, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, a co-principal to the NADCO dialogue. NADCO, as by now I'm sure you are aware, stands for National Dialogue Committee, and our members are here, save for one or two. The Honorable Amina Munyazi on the part of Azimio and Honorable Eugene Wamalwa who send apologies. And I think on the part of Kenya Kwanza, any absentee? Yeah, Mheshimiwa Cecily Barire, who has had a very busy 2 days, yesterday and today, hosting the International Women's Day in Embu, where I think she was also.
By the way, he just mentioned Wamalwa. Wamalwa has reportedly rejected the NADCO report, rejected it. I'll give him points for that. That's really being a stand-up guy, you know. Respect to him. I don't agree with him politically, but hey, it's nice to see a politician stand for something, even if it's a small thing. He did not show that. Of course, Kalonzo Musyoka is being diplomatic here, saying Wamalwa was caught up in some bullshit, whatever the case is. And even Martha Karua wasn't even present. That's another thing. Martha Karua wasn't present. Remember, these two people were not happy with the NADCO report, so they didn't show up in this whole shenanigans. But let's listen to Kalonzo Musyoka. Let's hear what he has to say.
In the company of the president. So today our task is simple. We just come to report progress, and in reporting that progress, we are indeed very honored to make a presentation to His Excellency here, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who appointed our side of Azimio team. And allow me also to say our work was made relatively easy by a very competent secretariat, men and women who came from the National Assembly, and also you can see there Professor Lo, Adam Solo, and our brother Zain Abu Bakr, and we had here Mudhomi. Where is Mudhomi? I cannot pronounce the other name where Mudhomi is. I find Mudhomi very easy, and Ojwang and Biteki. Biketi and I come a very long way, so it should be on this side. But anyway, these are our jokes. We had moments of light discussion, serious engagement. We had moments of serious disagreement, and they were all, we did not hide anything. For example, we never agreed on a very important subject as far as Azimio was concerned, and that was on the high cost of living. We have also reported progress to our principal here, and I'm quite sure the other principal is also adequately briefed. So I now welcome Kimani to come and make his remarks. An amazing young man from Kikuyu. Sometimes he can talk very loud.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister. Your Excellency.
What I find interesting about this whole press conference is Kimani Ichung'wah. These are one of the guys, politicians from the other side, Kenya Kwanza side, like Kalonzo said, who was really loud. He was talking about there'll be no nusumkate, we have to follow the law. Hakuna mambo ya kukaa chini. He was basically against this NADCO talking. Remember, because this NADCO thing it was first discussed by the panel that was headed by George Murugara and Otiende Amolo. And Ichung'wah was one of those people who are saying, hey, listen, these talks are nonsense. We shouldn't entertain talking to the Raila's faction of the Azimio side, okay? But now here he is, Ichung'wah, standing side by side with Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga, saying, hey, it's a good idea. Let's listen to his speech. Sorry, Let me keep on playing. You just listen to him.
The former Vice President, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, honorable members of NADCO, and members of for the state, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Or evening. Your Excellency, Prime Minister, as my co-chair, Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka has said, we are here to formally and officially hand over to you the product of the work that you yourself and the President did task this team to work on. Your Excellency, as we have briefed you in the boardroom, and as His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka has pointed out, we had...
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually not...
Sorry about that commercial.
At difficult times. We also had easy times on some of the subjects that were before us. We began not on a very easy note, but eventually, Your Excellency, we can report to you that we were able to surmount all the challenges that we began with and eventually agreed on 5 thematic areas that we would tackle and on an agreed agenda, unlike the way we had begun initially. And eventually, we did agree on almost 90% of the issues that you did task us to address in the National Dialogue Committee. And the few issues that we could not agree on, Your Excellency, as you will read in the report, there are issues that we referred to yourself and to His Excellency the President. But by and large, Your Excellency, as you have just told us there, the most important thing for this team and for our nation is not to forget what led us to the National Dialogue Committee, that there are indeed lives that were lost of Kenyans, there's property that was destroyed, and our economy taken up.
Okay, this is what it really bothers me about this whole sentence. Goodyear has some interesting things to say here. Say Kalonzo has had enough. He's checking out. Remember, those people froze him out. Because even yesterday, Raila Odinga was pointed out that Ngilu will be her preferred choice to lead the Azimio coalition, not the ODM, but the Azimio, coalition, which was kind of a blow on Kalonzo Musyoka. But just to address what Ichungwa is saying, this is what really kind of gets me. And I could hear the same thing echoed by, what's his face from Oparanya yesterday in his when I played his interview. These politicians, they keep on telling us that let's not forget the reason why we are having this NADCO. Essentially, this NADCO is a concoction of Raila and Ruto's people idea of forming an inclusive government. Inclusive to who? Inclusive as far as their minions, their lieutenants on their side of the political aisle. This is not something that actually helped the people. But this is how they're dressing it up on both sides. Like you just had Ichungwa and you had Oparanya yesterday when he was being interviewed by Ken something, I don't know, the KTN guy. They're trying to tell us that without this NADCO, let's not forget where we came from. This NADCO is a reason why we have peace, is a reason why the businesses are going on. We don't have Mandamano. The country is peaceful because we have the Mandamano. I mean, because we have the NADCO. This is the same bile we were being fed by Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga when they had their handshake. They want to make you believe that the NADCO, this handshake, this involvement, this sharing of the national cake by only the political elites, the politicians and their lieutenants, the political class, that's the reason for the country to remain peaceful. And that's what gets me with this whole thing. Because if you remember, when they were, in fact, let me just remove this. If you remember, the reason why they were going to Maandamano was not for them to have a NADCO report. They were telling us, number one, it was about electoral justice. Number two, they were telling about it was about SAVA. Number three, they were telling it was about the cost of living. But here it is, they have a whole proposal that is basically is asking Kenyans to change the structure of government so that the people in the opposition and some other folks who are not in government can be included in the government, so the taxpayers can pay more taxes to pay their salaries. And this is the reason why we didn't have peace. This is essentially what Ichung'wah and Oparanya was telling us, that Kenya can only be at peace. We can only live peacefully. We can only conduct our business if these politicians have a stake in government, whether it's opposition and the people, the ruling party. As long as they have these seats in the government, whether it's prime ministerial seat or the official opposition office or whatever, the CSS, whatever that they want to create, that is what they're telling us, that in order for Kenya to have peace, these politicians have to be given some kind of chair, seats that is being paid for by the taxpayers. That is essentially what they're saying. It has nothing to do with whatever they were telling us when they were protesting. And I always argue, these guys can. If I was the president had no reason to let them stop to stop them from mandamano. Only if they were committing criminal activities. If they were burning down shops, burning down things, destabilizing the Ninio, then you intervene and using proportionate force if needed. The keyword proportionate. Okay. So this is the insult, the insulting statement by these guys. Again, telling us that the country, let's not forget why we have this NADCO report. We have this NADCO report because we didn't have peace. The mandamano was affecting us all. We were almost fighting. We were all this. So the solution is to give Wandai office of official opposition, give Raila Odinga the prime minister position, give Mudavadi some position there. Because remember, they haven't agreed on the cost of living, the very thing that they were telling us they were going to the streets for. Okay? So this is what actually gets me. And they're saying that. So basically what they're saying, this is why at some point I was saying the Azimio is a terrorist group. They caused all this, and I'm not blaming Kenya. I'm not leaving Kenya. Kenya Kwanza are also responsible for this nonsense, okay? But I'm just saying, Azimio were causing all that chaos so that they were using their supporters to go out there, cause chaos so they can be included in government, or pay your position through this NADCO report. And once they get that, they get that report, once it's implemented and wakipata hizo macheo, okay, now we can have peace. Now we don't have to tell our supporters to go to the streets and cause mayhem. Now we can have peace. This is what Ichung'wah and Oparanya are telling us. This is what Kalonzo and Raila is telling us. This is what Ruto is telling us. This is basically what they're telling us. We cannot have peace until certain people have chair. That is basically what they're saying. Again, you heard him say they haven't agreed on cost of living. Lakini mambo yote wamekubaliana, lakini hii mambo wakukubaliana. You see what I'm saying? And another thing, this NADCO report is illegal. It is legal. It is legal. You remember, and Okiom Tata mentioned this when the last time he was at Spice FM. He said something, said this. We don't have a parliament. What we have is we have two-party coalitions with their leaders, and this parliamentarians' legislative body is operating outside the legislative body by taking orders from what? From the party coalition leaders. The president on one side, Raila Odinga on the other side. And that's what it is. That's why in my previous video, I started going off on Sifuna, saying, Sifuna, why are you and your 16 MPs mlikuwa kwa press conference, and you're saying the right things when it comes to affordable housing? You are saying that you need enough time to debate the cases, the issues, okay, the concerns, and there should be thorough, proper public participation in all 47 counties, so we can get a consensus from every constituency. Then their representatives, their senators and the MPs come to the legislative body and vote according to the will of the people, what the people want. That is what they said about the affordable housing. And I agreed wholeheartedly with Sifuna. But where I disagree, why I found that press conference disingenuous is when it came to the NADCO report, the rules are different. You are okay with Raila and Ruto meeting in Mombasa and choosing seven-man panel to meet at Bomas and draft this proposal, NADCO proposal, proposing to change the structure of government. Okay, the issue is not debated wanaokusikizana tuko kwa Bomas outside of the legislative body. No public participation. They brought a bunch of idiots there to come and say this, and told us that, oh, that is the public, the concerns of the civil union. While they're not using the legal channel, the institution that has the legal right to legislate, argue these cases. Nobody, the 47 constituencies were not consulted. There was no thorough public participation in the making of this NADCO report proposal. None of it. Okay? But they went to Bomas and they wakagri wakapanga hivi vile wakamaliza kupanga hiyo NADCO yao, then they want to bring it to the parliament, an already baked proposal. Wanaileta kwa parliament wanasema pitisheni kitu. Okay? Without actually having a proper public participation. Hii kitu ingeletwa as a bill in the legislative body kama walikuwa wanataka kuipitisha. That's the right way. Just the same way that Sifuna was telling us about the affordable housing. That's why I say Sifuna was being disingenuous with those 16 MPs, wakina Ledama and all those people. Okay? Mnataka sheria ifuatiliwe kikuja kwa affordable housing, which I support you on that. But kwa hii Bomas mambo ya NADCO report, hamusemi kitu. I would have loved the 16 MPs to come out and have another press conference and tell us, you know what, this Bomas proposal ya NADCO it's unconstitutional. It's not anchored in law. Ini Raila na Ruto walipigiana simu waka choose their 17 people and went to Bomas wakaanza kuongea hii kitu wakatengeneza hii proposal alafu wanataka kutuletea ati tupitishe ikuwa law. I would love those 16 MPs to do the same thing with the NADCO report. And even the High Court pronounced itself. Mugara Tande, whatever her name is, the justice from the High Court, said this thing is not anchored law. Wacheni kuharibia watu wakati. Endeleeni with the select panel. But they ignore the law. Both Ruto and Raila Odinga, Kalonzo and Ichung'wah, which confirms what Nani alikuwa anasema, Okiamtata was saying. We don't have a parliament. These people are above the law. They're making laws for us. Raila Odinga and Naruto wanasikizana huko alafu wanaita maloya yao, wanatengeneza sheria alafu wanaambia haya Okiamta nani Wandai enda kapitisha hiyo kitu. Ichung'wah pitisha hiyo kitu. And there's no public participation from who? From the wananchi. Mary Wilborn, I see. Mary Wilborn is asking, open server, cost of living. Raila is a super clown, religiously using his minions to promote his immediate family members to cushy job offers. Tell me about Mary. Niambie Mary. You saw the appointment of her sister, Akinyi. I'll show you. I'll show you the list. Muliona list leo. Muliona list. Hebu laikini. Mary, thank you for your contribution. Ebu like up your video. Like this video if you're watching this video, wherever you are. Whether you're on X or whatever. Like this video, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you very much, Mary Wilborn. I agree with you. Raila natucheza. And I don't want to make it about Raila because it is both of them. Of course, Raila anatucheza. I mentioned Raila a lot because Raila was dressing this up as someone who was actually trying to address the issues that Kenya take care much about. Remember, the cost of living was up and people were complaining. People were looking at the president, naturally, looking at the president, asking the president, hey, Rais, what's going on? Fix the economy. But Zakayo kept on, mambo hivi, A, B, C, D. So people felt like the president was not listening to their concerns. So they turned to Raila as the person who maybe, the opposition guy. Raila, tusaidie, hebu sema kitu hapa. Raila naye akaona cost of living okay, sawa. Mnataka cost of living? Haya, twendeni maandamano. Cost of living. Twendeni maandamano. Na nyinyi mkasema okay. Enyewe Raila Raila anapigia okay. Raila akona PhD ya maandamano, and we followed Raila. We went to the streets. Mkaenda mkachoma vitu, mkapigana mabunduki hapa that pop. What's the end of it? Proposal, NADCO proposal. NADCO ndio hiyo sasa. And NADCO has addressed everything but the very thing that took you to the streets. Hakuna hata kitu moja ambayo iliwapeleka huko. Usiniambie mambo ya Sava. Just like Dania ametuambia hapa hivi. Just like Mary is telling us here. Sava kitu gani? Just like Goody has told us here. I asked yesterday, even if we open the Sava saizi, tukifungua Sava saizi, niliwauliza hapa jana. Na nataka mnijibu hapo kwa chat. If we were to open the Sava today, na Sava iseme Raila ameshinda, do you think Ruto will say, you know what, tumefungua Sava, tumepata Raila ameshinda, let me step down and give it to Raila Odinga as the president of Kenya? You think that is what is going to happen? Wacheni mchezo bwana. Wacheni mchezo. Anyway, I want to give props to two people very quickly in this saga. Wamalwa apparently early rejected NADCO report. Rightfully so. I don't usually see eye to eye politically with him, but I have to give him props for him not to show up and fake the whole kusalimiana and acting like he's okay with it. Martha Karua too. I'm not a fan of Martha Karua. Never liked her, never cared about her. But I have to give her props. She didn't show up for this nonsense, okay? So I want to play. Unaona Kalonzo alitudanganya ati sijui Wamalwa wameshikana sijui wako wapi. No, Wamalwa apparently Wamalwa alisema no. I'm not going to be part of this nonsense. So here it is. Wamalwa, wacha nikuonyesha Wamalwa what he was up to. Subscribe guys, subscribe and like the video. Very important. Mfanye hivyo. Tafadhali. Na sio tafadhali, ni tafadhali. Sio tafadhali.
If y'all don't have time and don't even have a job, y'all can still get this $5,000 today from Uncle Sam.
All right, let's go.
Action Party of Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa has refused to endorse the National Dialogue Committee report, citing the glaring omission of the critical issue of lowering the cost of living. While 9 out of the 10 committee members signed, Wamalwa dissented, blaming the Kenya Kwanza team for their perceived lack of commitment to tackling the high cost of living. And as Ben Kirui reports, the NADCO team submitted its final report to opposition leader Raila Odinga at his Capitol Hill offices and President William Ruto at State House.
Members of the National Dialogue Committee, NADCO, officially presented their report to Azimio leader Raila Odinga on Friday. Conspicuously missing was one of the members of the 10-member committee, Eugene Wamalwa. The Democratic Action Party of Kenya leader who dissented cited the glaring omission of the critical issue of lowering the cost of living in the report.
I felt we did not do justice to the single most important issue.
Before I even finish the video, I have to clap for him. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of Wamalwa. They make fun of him, Eunice Wamalwa. But he is very right. I feel, that is what he said, I don't feel justice for those people who are out there protesting, and their main reason for going out there, they were hoping that by demonstrating and risking their lives and their livelihoods, risking being brutalized by the police, and so forth. You know how Mandamano goes. They put their neck out there so we can have a chance. Hopefully, Zakayo atatusikia. I'm playing the devil's advocate. Hopefully, Nani atatusikia. Nani, the president. Okay? Then tunafanya hivyo, watu wanakufa, alafu nyinyi mnakuja hapa na hii NADCO mnaanza kutuambia ati sijui hii proposal, sijui tumesikizana mambo yote lakini hakuna cost of living. Ati sasa Wamalwa, I give you 2 points for you.
Amongst the 5 issues that we were discussing, which was the cost of living. That matter, if you read the report, you'll find that there was a serious disagreement on that issue. And this is an issue touching every Kenyan. And things have just gotten worse because many Kenyans cannot make ends meet.
Wamalwa further argues that the report prioritized the matters beneficial to the political class, neglecting issues that significantly impact the common citizen. In expressing his disappointment, Wamalwa lamented the struggle that has become a daily life for Kenyans.
Many families that can hardly afford a meal a day, and yet we see the cost of living going even higher. So at Bomas, this is a matter we fail to address.
Wamalwa further accused the Kenya Kwanza team of lacking political goodwill and commitment to making life more bearable for Kenyans.
There was some bias on the side of our Kenya Kwanza colleagues. There was lack of goodwill and good faith. And I felt that to some level, they were only focusing on the memoranda issues.
In a letter to Parliament, Wamalwa expressed his reluctance to claim his sitting allowances due to a fundamental disagreement with the NADCO report, asking that the money be returned to sender. His decision coming after he received an invitation to provide bank details for payment.
I also made it public that I would also not be accepting the sitting allowances. So today I formally put my position on record in Parliament through a written communication.
The NADCO committee, established to foster dialogue and consensus, was tasked with recommending constitutional, legal, and policy reforms. These reforms address key areas such as auditing the 2022 electoral process, the cost of living, and restructuring and reconstituting the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
That's commendable from Wamalwa. Like I say, I'm not a fan of Wamalwa, but that's commendable from a politician. The only thing I just disagree with him is him trying to apportion blame to Kenya Kwanza. They didn't come into the table in good faith. Listen, all of you didn't come to that table in good faith. I'll just tell you that right now. But let me read Miss Mary's Wilbon's comment here. She's saying, I supported Ruto, even met him at Eldoret Airport Lounge by sheer coincidence, but Ruto today is the most dangerous president in Africa. The rate at which he's bending over to known leeches is unheard of. Yes. You know what? I agree with you in some point, to some point. I won't say the most dangerous in Africa, but the amount of power that he will be wielding in Kenya alone, the influence, he will rule unopposed. Basically, he's doing what his predecessor did. And I often argue that a lot in different platforms, and even here, I say Ruto is turning out to be an extension of Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency. I'm not saying that Kenyatta Uhuru is still powerful, but I'm just saying that the things that Uhuru was doing, he's actually also starting to do. Okay, for example, the borrowing, number one. Number two, usurping of power. Again, and this is done, we cannot just, this is the thing though, Miss Mary, if you're still listening, this is the thing though. While we can say that and point finger at Ruto, we cannot let the opposition run scot-free on this. They have a huge part to play in letting Ruto have this unbridled power that he's yet to exercise, is about to exercise, okay? Because the opposition is supposed to counter the ruling party if they feel they are not advancing the wananchi's interest, okay? So if the president, through his party, he has the majority in the legislative body, whether it's the whatever, okay? So if they want to petition a bill that is not going to be beneficial to the wananchi, like the affordable houses, for example, okay? It is the work of the opposition party, because of course the president is from Kenya Kwanza. So every Kenya Kwanza aligned politician, naturally, he'll try to use the Ichungwa to whip support within the parliament legislative body to get the Kenya Kwanza guys to vote for the bill that he wants to pass. Now, if the base bill is not being, the opposition is not defending the interest of wananchi or checking them and saying, hey, listen, I know you want to pass this bill, but this is unconstitutional. This is not going to benefit the. I know the opposition are complaining that they're not being allocated enough time to debate, discuss this thing on the floor of the parliament. I get that. But still, I've argued here all day, every day. If you listen to me, if you follow me, I always argue this. Okay, you say like today, they were saying Amason Kingi is not giving them enough time to debate on the Senate. All right, they're giving him only 4 minutes to argue an issue. Okay, if they don't give enough time to debate, that does not stop you to vote otherwise. And again, you just heard today, another thing I want to give you, this is a gem, okay? Now, and I'll go to the Ledama's tweets, okay? I'll go to the Ledama's tweet. Now, there are people who are typing in their Twitter pages and saying that, you know, after they saw this Ichungwa and Raila Odinga signing all this stuff, whatever, with the NADCO report, they're saying, you know, in politics, it's not bad to reach out to the other side of the aisle, political divide, and work together on a bill, which I agree. There's nothing wrong with that. Kenya Kwanza shouldn't be looking at Azimio as the enemies, and Azimio should not be looking at Kenya Kwanza as enemies. You can work together for the good of what? For the wananchi. So what I'm saying is this. Our Azimio, their complaints is they're not getting enough time to argue their case in the legislative body. But I'm saying this, if you're really serious about legislation, it is about persuasion. I often give this an example. Didmas Baraza, there was a time that Didmas Baraza was saying this. Mimi Rais asporudisha help bring the cost of living down. I can even leave the Kenya Kwanza side. Now, if I'm Azimio, instead of going to funerals and screaming, oh, Kenya Kwanza has been, Rais Amechukua has already usurped power in legislative body. Why can't you reach out to people like Dismas Baraza and say, hey, listen, Dismas Baraza, I understand that people in your constituency are complaining about the cost of living. Can you come work with me as the member of Azimio? Let's draft this bill that will benefit all Kenyans, people from your constituency, and even my constituency, because my constituents are also complaining of the high cost of living. So why can't we work together? You should persuade. You can do that, okay? Regardless of whatever political aisle you're from. So even if you're not having enough time to debate, what counts is your working relationship with your fellow legislators. And number 2, your vote. When it was time to vote for the affordable bill, what happened? 149 MPs, most of them from Azimio, did not show up. I understand you can vote in absentia. None of them even voted for absentia. They didn't even show up in the parliament. Then they had the audacity to call a press conference and say, you know, this is a very draconian law that they're passing. So I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to say this to your point, Mary, and it was a very good point, is Ruto is ruling unopposed. Okay? He's going to have this unbridled power in Kenya. And this is because the opposition are allowing him to do so. Whether you want to argue that wamelipwa or some of them pretend to be publicly opposed to him, because that's the Ninio that I came to. That's the conclusion that I came to. These Azimio folks, most of them are publicly wanajifanya that they're opposing Ruto, but in secret they are supporting him. And now it's coming out, you know, they want to make it official because now through this NADCO proposal, you will see the Ninio. You'll see the Ninio. Okay, Mary saying, don't be fooled by the likes of Wamalwa and Karua disagreeing with the report. I bet you anything, the two have realized their rewards for coveted international jobs are non-existent. You know what? Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Especially like Karua, we know Karua, she has a history. You know, kumbuka history when she was, I think she was the constitutional minister of the constitution and matters of law or something. And Nani, and Emilio Kibaki, okay? Then when I think she was vying for a position or whatever the case, and when she didn't get it, she walked out and left Emilio Kibaki, okay? So yes, we know, she's also we know the case where she was bribed by that British tobacco company. Karua is just as corrupt. That's why she's quiet. She knows, you know what, maybe I don't have anything here. Let me concentrate on my kamwene, whatever the thing is, So yes, Mary, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's a huge possibility that Wamalwa and Karua maybe wameangalia wakasema, you know what, I'm probably not going to get the piece of the pie, so hey, adios amigo, I'm out. So yes, there's a possibility. I'm just saying, I'll give 2 brownie points to Wamalwa for openly saying, hey, listen, I'm not with this. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to shake hands with Raila and Ruto and all that stuff. While I know this thing is not, something that, it's in fact, for him to say that it was betraying that's the reason why I'm giving him 2 brownie points. Karua menyamaza because she understands. But again, she already pronounced herself even before when this NADCO report came out. She mentioned that she was not with it. So yeah, but it takes some balls for Amalu at least to come out and say, listen, I'm giving up my sitting allowance and all that nonsense, because the people who are fighting for this cost of living to go down have been betrayed. And that's what I usually tell the Azimio folks. Azimio, Azimio folks, where are you at? Both people are, it's a disappointment. It's a disappointment. Goodyear is telling us Ruto is the kingpin of Kenya. The 3 triplets with a strong bond working it well. They are flexing their muscles. Yes, in case of those of you who are wondering who are the 3 triplets. The 3 triplets is Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, and Raila Odinga. So there you go. You're wondering where's the handshake. The handshake is official. And what's sad is this NADCO thing, they're going to push it and push it through. Because my good friend Goodyear told me that Raila is probably not going to get that AU job. By the way, I just heard that the AU people, they want to make sure that this time, they want to change the law that this time, Yokitia AU goes to a woman, which will naturally toa Raila in the race. Ouch! Ouch! It hasn't been passed yet, but they're working on it. I read it in Our Nation. So again, I said, what will Raila fall back? What is his plan B if he doesn't get that AU job? His plan B is the NADCO report, because NADCO report still gives him what he wants. What does Raila want? Raila wants a carpet, a new car, bodyguards, a salary, and limelight. Every weekend, I will want to say this report, Raila alisema hivi. Hey, Agwambo, Baba. I'm glad. Let me show you the tweet by Oleki. Because he was like, siasa kweli usiweke kwa roho, something like that, to that effect. And somebody wrote on the comment section saying, ulikuwa unamuita baba si baba yako. Baba si baba yako. It was a classic comeback. But again, these people, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Yes, Mary saying, yes, Ruto will have unbridled power, but he will only be the best stooge for the West. Absolutely. He has been a stooge for a long, long time. Since he came in, at least that's what I can say. Like I say, I was very optimistic when Ruto came into power. I was like, okay, finally, somebody young, aggressive. Maybe he will, he will not follow the Western powers instructions. But as soon as he started with GMOs and Bill Gates, then akaanza kuchukua hizi malone, going there telling us that we need loans in better interest rates and longer loans, 50-year loan. I was like, all right, this guy is done. He's done, dusted. He's part of the puppet, colonial puppets that we have in Kenya, in Africa. So that's when I realized, Ruto, you're no different. And I suspected at some point, since I've been knowing that Raila is also a Western puppet, they will come to an agreement at some point. Easy shenanigans, teza maandamano, easy maandamano. It's just, it's just going to lead to one thing. And like Goodyear is reminding me, I told you, Raila is not going anywhere. Ruto has planned a big thing. Well, somebody also said this. The clouds have finally gathered. Raila was saying that the clouds are gathering. Kumbe ndio cloud tulikuwa tunaambiwa. Mawingu yana. Ai. Nakwambia siasa ya Kenya, mimi nawaambia ni Hollywood. Hata you cannot script this. I don't know who's writing this script, but it's amazing how these people work. It's amazing how these people operate. Somebody, let's go to something. I want to touch on the appointments that happened today. I don't know if you guys heard about the appointments where I think Sister Raila was appointed to be something. I don't know what it was. We'll read it. There's some appointments about Ruto. Inaitwa effects of the handshake. Hebu tuione. Na kuambia mambo inafanyika hapa hata mimi nashindwa niseme nini. Let's look at this. Real quick. The new appointments. Are you guys ready? All right, let's look at the appointments here. Like the video. Tafadhali msisahau ku like. Na kama huja subscribe, ebu subscribe ni hapo. Mary kila mtu, I know nani yako hapo. Everybody that's watching up in the background that are not saying anything, please go ahead and subscribe in this channel. Please go ahead and subscribe and like and tukiendelea hivyo. And feel free ukitaka kuingia hapa tutakuingiza. Okay, here's the thing. So, can you guys see the screen? Can you see the screen? Ama ni enlarged kidogo. Mnaona hapo? So, somebody wrote something interesting. Remember, Miguna once said in his tweet that this lady here, her name is what's her face? Raila's sister. Her name is Akinyi Odinga. She has a first name was something. I forgot her name, but the first name. But her other name is Akinyi. But she's Raila's sister. She has been appointed a position. She's going to be one of the ambassadors in NEO. She's coming to LA, Los Angeles. Okay, LA. Okay. So this guy wrote here, and he reminded the Kenyans that Miguna once claimed Ruto had sired a baby with her. Bwana, he country is too complicated. So he handshake ama child support. Yeah. But anyway, the main point is this. President Ruto appoints Raila's sister Akinyi Odinga as deputy head of Kenyan mission in Los Angeles, LA, California, USA. So she's coming to California as an ambassador of Kenya. Hey, aya. Mkono nasema handshake. Handshake ndio hiyo basi. Handshake, there you go, your handshake. Anyway, I want to give you the list of the people who appointment. Felix Osgei aliandika hapa, those are the Ninio, the press release. I don't know if you guys can see it. Is it big enough? Inajaribu hapa. There you go. From those who are going to be in UK, whatever, Ottawa, Canada. There you go. Cluster high commissioners. Can you guys see it? I hope you can see it in the chat. Can you guys read it? Nepotism. That's the word. Yes. Good year. Good. I need people who are advanced in English like you. Nepotism. Kupatiana wale watu wa ninio, the people related to you and your friends or whatever. So high commissioners there. You can see the station. London, United Kingdom, Miss Catherine Kirumba Karemu. Kampala, Uganda, Joash Atur Mangi. Lusaka, Zambia, Lillian Tomitom. Accra, Ghana, Honorable Vincent Mugaka Kimosi. Ottawa, Canada, Miss Caroline Kemende Daudi. Islamabad, Pakistan, Lieutenant General Mbogo Njiru. Cairo, Egypt, Fred Outa. Dakar, Senegal, Professor Anne Kisaka Nanguli. Algiers, Algeria, Mr. Timothy Kaluma Mcharo. Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, Honorable Christopher Andrew Langat. Rabat, Morocco, Miss Jessica Gakimba. Of course, there's another one. Oh, where can I get it? There's another one. There's a second one. I didn't. So the second one is where it's interesting. Up until this one, the interesting one right here. Can you guys see it? I hope you can see it. All right. Hague is Honorable Halima Yusuf. That's Netherlands. Washington, D.C. is David Kiplagat Kerich. Havana, Cuba. I think it's Evelyn Mwenda Karisa. Moscow, Russia. Peter Mutuku Muzuki. Tokyo, Japan. Moile Moshira. Abu Dhabi is Kenneth Milimo Nganga. Tehran is General Rajona Mwangi. Muscat, Oman. Abdi Ahden Korio. United Nations Environment Program. Miss Gertrude N. Angote. United Nations Habitat. Grace Atieno Okara. Ambassador, Permanent Representative Geneva, Switzerland is Dr. Fancy To. United Nations, New York, USA, Ekitela Erastus Locale. Kampala, I'm almost done, guys. Kampala, Uganda is Suleiman Ibrahim Roba. Pretoria, South Africa is Sunya Morongei Ore. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia is Petronella Were. London, United Kingdom is Bishop Dr. Joseph Warui. Rome, Italy is Rose Sabweyuo. Vienna, Austria is Kipkosgei Toroitich. Washington, D.C., USA is Christopher Kirigua. Brazil is Ambassador Paris Kariuki. Tel Aviv, Israel is John Chisoni. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is Miss Sadia Salim. Los Angeles, USA is Miss Akinyi Walikoa Odinga. Anyway, so those are the list of people who are going to, like Goody is telling us, it's nepotism. Unapatia your relatives and friends, chill. The interesting one that was actually making rounds in the news in Twitter sphere was that of Odinga's sister, again, and what's his name? Chiluma, whatever his name, the guy that was working for the IBC who was being blamed. People, the Azimio were actually telling him, hey, wewe ndio ulifanya hiyo kitu ndio Raila kashindwa. Apparently, he was the, what's his name? Is it Evans? I forgot his name. I'll find it right now. I'll get it right now. I'll find it. Chilimo. I think his name is Chilimo or something like that. I forgot his name. I'm forgetting his name, and that is the worst thing that I can do is forget his name. But Chilomo, whatever his name is, he's also coming to Los Angeles as one of the people who are going to come to Los Angeles. He's like one of the head diplomat. Now, I want to show you something. Ledama is what I wanted to show you, what he tweeted. Because Ledama is kind of saying a lot without saying a lot, if you know what I mean, okay? Sawa. Aya, tuangalie very quickly for Ledama. Let's see what Ledama is saying here. Because I thought this was really interesting. If somebody who is a staunch supporter, and people are making fun of him, because remember Ledama and William Tualkwana, he was fighting at the Bomas when the results were about to be announced. And everyone was like, hey, Ledama, hey, you know, he was fighting for Raila. But here it is. Ledama is writing, siasa. To kweli si ya kuweka kwa kifua. Of course, he's saying a lot without saying a lot. And this is after the announcement by NADCO announces na yo maneno yengine. He's saying, hey, now you can see, if this shows you that even on the Azimio part, okay, so far, I would like to hear what Babu Owino, Ledama, I'm not interested with Oparanya's Ninio. Oparanya and Joho, since Raila amewambia ati hao ndio take care of ODM, I don't think they'll criticize this NADCO report. I think they'll be happy. Maybe they might get something. But I will be interested to hear maybe Babu Owino or Ledama himself and a couple of, in fact, I would like to hear most of the Azimio side of the political aisle, their take on this NADCO thing, especially the guys who are not on the ODM. I want to hear people who are not on the ODM, like the Karua I already know. Like, what Kalonzo? Yes, Goody is telling me, why are you forgetting names like Kalonzo giving you something small? Yeah. So like I say, I'll be interesting because I know the ODM side of the ODM faction of the Azimio side will be endorsing this NADCO thing. As you can see, you saw the minority leader, what's her name? The guy from Gonja, whatever, he was smiling like a clown. But I want to hear people who are not on the ODM, not ODM, but are in Azimio. I want to hear their take regarding this NADCO report. I'm not talking about Kalonzo. Kalonzo is a goner. He was the one who was, you know, amepromisio atapewa kiti hapo, maybe kakiti flani when this whole thing is implemented. What will be interesting is how they are going to implement this NADCO report. I told you guys, I can't renew it enough. This thing was already declared to be not anchored in law. It's unconstitutional. I don't know how they're doing this. Why they're brutalizing, they are mutilating the constitution, but they want to pass it. How are they going to do it? I have no freaking idea. They have to break the law. They have to continue breaking the law. I'm waiting for Kiamtata to go to the High Court again and remind Kalonzo Musyoka and his buddy Raila Odinga that and Ruto that this NADCO thing is illegal. It's illegal. Last but not least, I want to talk about something. Yes, something that might not be I've been exhausting it this week, but I just have to. This is classic drama. We have use my This saga keeps on giving. Now, I want to finish with this lady here. I know we've talked about NADCO and all that stuff. Please, guys, don't forget to like this video. Like all of you guys, like this video. Msiharibu wakati. Mulike. Na kama huja subscribe, please subscribe. So anytime I come on, unaweza kuniona. And unaweka hiyo notification kwa simu yako, whether it's a tablet, simu, ama computer, whatever you're using, whether it's iPhone, tablet, whatever. Weka notification. So nikiingia, you can see me. I'm always here every day. Like it, share, subscribe. But anyway, I want to finish with this topic right here. We already talked about it for the past 2 days, but I want to finish with this because this is getting ridiculous. This is something that I was telling you guys, and it's a confirmation. I mentioned yesterday, and this is about Wanjiru. Yes, I know, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru. The government now is moving to actually take Bishop Nganga's church because it is sitting on government land. And now the government, the railway people, I don't know what his name is saying they went to court and they're asking for that land to be taken back. Okay. So, but before that, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru came out and made a press conference. Along with her friends. I think I don't know if they were clergymen or clergywomen, whatever the case is. She was sitting there with a sling on her hand. And I think this lady forgot that her hand is supposed to be broken. She shouldn't be holding the microphone and moving it while she's talking. But again, she was giving the press conference, which was embarrassing. But anyway, I don't know what she thinks. Like I said, she was, to me, in my opinion, easy shenanigans yote, like I said. All these shenanigans were being done for her to find a reason to leave what? To leave Kenya Kwanza. Because, kumbuka, she's a politician, she's an opportunist, she's not a bishop, she's a thug, she's an opportunist. Ameangalia weather, and being from where she comes from, Kenya Kwanza is not, especially UDA, is not a popular political party. So she has to go back to her people. And the only way to endear herself among her people, she has to disrobe herself of this UDA political party. So she's using this issue. I mean, she knows that her church was in public land. She must have known, okay? So when they were partially bomoed her church, akaanza hii mambo yote. I mean, this lady was ridiculous. She was talking about the police who took her cell phone, beat her up, and were touching her thighs. I mean, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Bishop? Bishop, what are you talking about? There was no evidence, bruises on her face. She forgot sometimes she was acting like she needed to be helped to go to the next year. Amechukua painkillers. Mashinanigans zingine za unnecessary. Kama ulikuwa unataka kutoka UDA, ungesema tu, you know what, mimi nataka kutoka UDA, I'm no longer UDA, I'm moving on with my life. Leave it at that. Okay? Hiyo kesi ya nini, take care of it in the court. Wacha mambo ingine. Hii mambo sijui umeshikwa kwa thigh, sijui umechapwa, sijui simu yako imechukuliwa. We know you're lying and you're only lying about yourself because sisi tunaiangalia hivi and we know you're lying. So Bishop Wanjiru, you should be. But anyway, I'll play it for you for shits and giggles because it seems interesting. It's a new cartoon, but it's interesting. Let's listen to her. Let's listen to her real quick as we wrap up. Let's listen to her really quick. Again, don't forget to like the video. As we do this is the last video I'm going to play for the day because I only wanted to stay here for an hour. But here is the bishop. Wacha tusikie bishop anasema hivi. She was talking that big talk. Okay, tough talk. Bishop mwenyewe. She's bigger than Betting Head. Let's listen.
You are wrapped up by NIS agencies. Those are security agencies. They have an office behind us here. And they came and started demolishing the wall from the outside for our parking, our community parking. When I was on my way out of the office and I had some commotion at the back, I went to see what is happening. And I couldn't believe what happened. I was roughed up, given a thorough beating, phones taken away. I was with Pastor Major, camera confiscated and taken away. And so I started making calls to look for help. And so as I was making those calls, I happened to go out and I went to some office around the corner. I did not get much help. So I came back. On my way back, there was a car that was just stopping in front of the church. And those vehicles, we know them very well. They belong to the anti-terrorism, CIDs. This one, Magarisa DCIO headquarters. And when those gentlemen came out, I was very happy because I thought they had come to help us. Actually, I greeted them. So we opened the gate and they entered. Hey, tuli chapwa leo jaona. And I must say,
if you look at the lady who is standing right behind Margaret Wanjiru on her right, you know, you can even tell her face, she knows Margaret Wanjiru is lying. I mean, atituli chapwa, she doesn't look like someone who's been chapwad. I mean, anyway, I don't want to play this anymore. It's stupid. But anyway, I just wanted to say this. Why is it that when this happened, the first thing that came up to her mind is this UDA government? Okay, government is yes, I know the president is the ruling party, the administrative part of the government, okay, of the Kenyan government is led by UDA, okay, but I mean, Sharia ni Sharia. If your building is sitting on a land that is owned by public land, regardless of whether you're UDA, Kenya Kwanza, you know, Azimio, you'll have to move. Itabomolewa, irudishiwe serikali, or whatever case is, okay? So to first start blaming the UDA government, it's silly. It's a little bit silly, okay? Maliza okay kwa koti, hii mambo ya sijui kwa thighs, it's stupid. Margaret Wanjiru needs to stop. People, it's time for people to actually call out these fake pastors. Hii mambo ya shenanigans na urongo, blatant lies. Ati tulichapwa. Hey, tulichapwa. And you can see from her face, she doesn't look like someone who chapwad. But anyway, it's been an hour, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades. I just want to thank everyone for watching. I just want to stay here for 1 hour. So again, before I even leave, I'll be here tomorrow again. Before we meet tomorrow, please like this video so you can go there so Margaret Wanjiru can see this video and get saved. I would like to personally thank Kenya Revolutionary. I would like to thank Goodyear for her stalwarts, you know, supporting the channel, and Miss Mary Wilborn. Thank you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe. I thank you for your contribution in this and many more. Everyone else who is watching there, outside there, I can see all you guys who are watching. And also on X, I would like to thank you up there. Wale watu walikuwa wanaangalia kwa siri amtaki kuingia hapa, amtaki comment. I also want to thank you for actually watching, okay? And for those of you who are going to watch this in repeat, baadaye mkiwa mmekaa chini mnakula popcorn na unafanya mambo yako, I would like to thank you too. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kenya Revolutionary. Again, for the last time, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'll say it one more time. Go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share, like, comment. Na tutaonana kesho. Ama ni namna gani? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And I will see you later tomorrow. Let me read the last comment here. Yeah. Thank you, my dear friend, Goodyear. All right. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Amaniaji. Peace and blessing. You might see me on another chat on another platform if they let me in. You know, I'm usually controversial, but thank you so much. Tutaonana kesho. Sawa. Peace and blessings.